Oh my goodness, Jaret. What are you, a Satanist?
No.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Under the Influence. This is Season 5, episode, I'm pretty sure it's episode 6.
Yep.
Yeah, all right, this is episode 6. We're so glad you're here. We're glad to be here. We're having a blast, the time of our lives right now. You have no idea. It's been a long morning getting things set up, but that's okay. Should we do a quick mug check?
Mug check.
All right, as always. Little snuggle season from Jaret.
Season.
The snug sneeze.
Every season is snuggle season if you're Jaret. I found this mug in the cupboard. So when we moved into this new office space, they left a ton of stuff here. Furniture, a bunch of stuff, right?
Actually.
And this mug, if we can get a zoom in on whatever camera that one is, camera 1. I don't know if it's going to see it. But this says, do what you like, what you do. Do what you like, what you do.
Do what you like, what you do, indeed.
Life is good. So, found that one in there. Thought it was funny.
And I have a grape juice glass.
That's, yeah, not a bug.
Yeah.
Levi was like, can you please give me that tall
No,
flute?
so
The glass
I just
chalice.
look through the window, and Jerry is holding this up, and he's like, huh? And I'm like, oh, funny joke, haha.
No, that's not what he said. I was like, you want this? And he goes, yeah.
And
He said, please give that to me. I want that over everything else.
no.
He's like, I didn't want water, but now I do.
No. But I got in there, and I realized that it wasn't a joke, and then he was actually had already had it poured, so I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you can't unpour it, so.
No, you can't.
I couldn't repour it. It would be dirty. I mean, it would be dirty a glass for no reason.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Water.
Yeah.
Full of clean water.
Yeah.
Gross.
Yeah. Would you? That's a long hair. I'm going to sneak in real quick. All right. Just kidding. Put it right in his water. I didn't put it in there. I threw it away.
It so much looked like you did.
I know. I should have left it. But then you would have, like, the whole episode been like, I'm not drinking that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So,
Good.
we're back again for another episode of Under the Influence.
Backstreet's back.
Back streets, boys, all right.
That's not it. I don't
No?
know what it is. I've never heard the song in my life. We also, as you notice, are wearing our Under the Influence merch. You can go buy this at christianinfluence.net/shop, or if you go to christianinfluence.net, at the top little part of it, there's a little shop button. You can get your official Under the Influence Season 5 hoodies. And if you see on here, it says, Under the Influence is my favorite podcast. No, I'm just kidding. But you could put that on there if you write it with Sharpie.
You could.
It says Under the Influence. It's got our website on there, so you get basically free advertising for us. We appreciate that. But on the back, it's got a verse, Hebrews 3:13. So always you're walking around with an opportunity to talk to each other or talk to others about how Christians should be encouraging people closer to God, right? Pushing people closer to God. Just saying, it is an evangelistic opportunity, so you should buy one.
It really is, unless you're like Jaret and don't
Starting
wear
to sound a little bit like Joel Osteen over here in my bed. Oh my goodness, Jaret! What are you, a Satanist?
No. I was late to D&D, and I left my hoodie at work. I tore apart my house this morning looking for it, and then after I tore it apart, I was like, it's on the hook at work. And then I had to clean
And
the
now
house before
you're
I
on the
came here.
hook.
I am
Now
on the
you're
hook.
on the hook.
I am on the hook.
Man. So D&D is satanic because it kept you from wearing a verse shirt.
Yeah, I think that's how that
A
works
verse
out.
shirt.
Checkmate atheists.
Checkmate Christians.
Well, no,
Atheists
because
check.
you know the Christians that play D&D.
Yeah.
It's evil.
Oh, yeah.
So you're not really.
But
I don't know how
exhort
to get
one
it.
another each day as long as it is called today, so that none of you become hardened by sin's deception. That is the
got it
verse on
memorized.
the back of our sweatshirt that you can talk to others about throughout your daily interactions with everyone, and
So you're okay that you didn't work. You got it memorized.
I do have it memorized.
Do you just shout that at the people that you tackle?
You're just every person you walk by, you're like, Hebrews 2:13, but exhort each other. Like, what is this guy saying?
I just have the audio on the Bible app playing, and that's just that verse on repeat.
That's pretty awesome,
And I
actually.
walk around in my headphones all day.
Yeah. No, I actually think that they're really comfortable. It depends on what color you get. You actually have to buy either a size up or whatever. But this military green, the one that we all got, it's kind of funny. We were all going to wear them this episode because now we all have them because Jaret showed up first. But that episode that Jaret had his on episode 4, it was only him. Now it's only us, which is a little funny.
Yeah.
We'll eventually get it right.
Eventually.
Actually, I think we shouldn't wear them at all for the rest of the season. We should just leave it.
Never even bring it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, we got to show off the back, right?
Yeah, do it. Do a little twirl. You just hunch your back.
It showed up well though.
Hebrews 3:13. But exhort.
Yeah.
You guys get it.
Yeah, we got it. It was incredible. Loved it. Loved every second of that.
Yeah, that was
For the audio
easy
listener, that was meaningless. And all they heard was me just and then but exhort.
Exhort one another.
Yeah, I actually think they're really comfortable. Levi and I were just talking beforehand about how soft they are on the inside.
Yeah.
We gotta be careful. This is becoming an infomercial.
they've stayed soft through washing them too.
Yeah.
So
Ooh, because I know like every time that I get a sweatshirt, I'm like, man, I forget how soft sweatshirts are because I just wear sweatshirts for literally years.
Yeah.
And then, it just loses all of that. And then I get a new one. And then it's great.
I
But
have
it
a feeling
stays after a while.
I don't think, I mean, maybe after one, but I don't think after a few more.
You heard it here first. This will never not be soft.
I've washed it at least twice, and it's still great.
Why? What have you been doing in it?
You've
had it for like 3
He
weeks.
tackled
I
like
wear it
5
like
guys.
every day.
Yeah. I don't wash. Before I got married, I didn't often wash hoodies because to me they were like jackets. Like I don't really wash my coats unless they're clearly
that would
dirty.
make sense, but they're not jackets.
I know. But in my head, I honestly didn't think about it for a long time. And then I think when we were dating, Perry was like, she asked me, I don't remember. She said something about like, oh yeah, I just took this out of the wash and so it's nice and soft or whatever. And I was like, oh, did you get it? Did you spill something on it? She's like, no, it's clothing that I wash when I wear it.
I do not wash it nearly as often.
I don't think it
as
needs
other
to be because
clothes
it's
at all.
it's outerwear most of the time. Except this time I'm wearing it as underwear. No, I'm wearing it like as a shirt. But
No, I think like once a week.
yeah.
Like if I'm wearing it every day after a week, it should probably
Yeah,
take a
I
ton
wear.
Oh
through the
well,
wash.
I guess I've got a few that I like swap between
Yeah.
throughout my week. So then I just do like once a month.
How many
wash all my
times do you wear your
sweatshirts.
jeans before you wash them?
That's what I was just gonna ask. Because apparently there's a right answer to this.
I mean, they were designed for one.
I mean, I wear them until there's visible stains.
But not if they smell.
if they
I
start,
don't think. I think if I'm an active day, like I'm sweating and stuff.
Yeah.
I'll wash them.
Okay.
But I don't think it's. I don't treat jeans like a t-shirt.
no.
Yeah, my clothes, it's weird. So when I get home, and I have to change, I leave my clothes on the floor, and then the next day, they're clean and folded and in my closet.
Yeah.
That's
I don't,
crazy.
They just
Dude.
ever since. So there's this magic thing that happened when I got married.
You got those. I was gonna say laundry gremlins.
Wow.
No, I was gonna say that, and then you said the whole thing about after I got married.
Yeah.
So then it was.
No, I'm just
in
kidding.
less good taste.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
Yeah.
That would be.
I used to have that happen, but now it only happens if I make it to the hamper. The ones that are on the floor just stay there.
That's good, probably.
Yeah.
Teach you to have some manners.
It's been teaching me a lesson.
Yeah. No, I was just repeating a joke I've heard
Yeah.
on a lot of people say.
Yeah.
There's some gunk in that water.
It's probably
What
hair.
is that? No, it looks like skin.
I think Levi put that in there.
I
Dude,
did.
it
After
looked
you
like a
put the
little-
hair into my glass.
It looked like a little flap of skin.
Yeah, I've been.
That
like,
was
flicking it.
disgusting. It was really gross to imagine. So, yeah, enough about this weird infomercial about our sweatshirts. You should check them out, though. They're great. I think they're really comfortable. If you get this green one, maybe get a size up. It runs a little small for whatever reason. But whatever. We really like them. We hope you like them as well. Go to our shop. You can also get a bunch of other stuff. I got a onesie for my son that says Christian Influence on it, which is pretty epic. So we'll have to bring him back in here on an episode sometime and show it off. But do you guys want an update on my leg?
Yeah,
Yes.
dude.
Do you want to see it?
Let's see it.
Well,
It's gross.
Bring it up,
no, I'm
Shibs.
just kidding. It's
Yeah,
not.
pull it up.
Pull what up?
Pull it up, Shibs.
Pull up his leg.
Yep.
What are you talking about?
You don't have a
What do you
picture
mean?
of...
No, I was gonna. I was gonna get up on the table and show
Oh,
you.
do it. Yeah, that's even better.
What?
We were totally just messing with.
Yeah, I guess they were
He has
messing with
no
Shibs.
idea.
Well, I think somebody did mess with me because the camera angles are backwards, and you know how much that messes with my brain.
They're backwards.
Yeah.
Oh, when Levi plugged in the HDMI's, they're
Oh,
flipped.
I didn't check
So,
any of them. I
Our,
just
our
plugged
camera
them in.
switching is going to be pretty frenetic this video.
You can just
We
switch
can-
them.
you can just
reach
switch 'em
behind
in
the,
the
reach
ATEM.
on the ATEM.
I'll struggle through.
Okay.
Are you sure? Okay.
It's super. It won't mess anything up. All right. No, I will real quick show you. It's basically healed.
It's super gross, but basically.
No,
healed.
it's not gross at all. I was joking. It's just this big scar now.
Oh, the smell! Oh!
No, but did you see how pasty white my legs are?
That was the.
That was for the audio
jeans,
listeners.
not the scar.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't washed these jeans.
No,
ever.
I was trying to give the audio listener, you know.
But now you got another
The big
cool
bucks.
scar.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
I
dude.
should have shown, but yeah, I have two. I've got one straight down the left side of my leg, and then now this awkward diagonal on the front.
That's pretty great.
And it looks ridiculous. I need it.
Now you just
one
need
on
the right
each
side. Of your
side.
leg.
Yeah, I need one on the back and on the right, so it looks like just this, like this,
It kind of-
threading of a screw or something.
Dude, yeah. But all in different, like...
Yeah, so that it wouldn't work at all.
Or they're all pointing to one thing, and then you have, like, a sun there, and it's, like, shedding off light.
Oh, like a tattoo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except it's made of scars.
Oh, gosh. Okay. I hope I never get scurvy. My leg
that
would
would
fall
be
off.
rough. It just all...
Yuck. Sorry for the podcast viewer there. That might have been weird and gross. I just thought it'd be funny because the first episode we talked about it, and I showed them the gross pictures, and now it's fine. So
Yeah, that first episode, I fell in the shower before recording.
yeah,
And I was going to bring it up because I was in so much pain. And you would just finish your leg story. I'm like, oh, I could talk about how I fell. And you're like, yeah, and I fell and hurt myself. I'm pathetic. Stupid. And I'm like, I'll keep it to myself.
I mean the falling in the shower thing sounds pretty.
Painful?
Yep,
That what you were gonna
That's the word. That's definitely the word he was going to use.
painful. It does sound painful.
It does sound awful, you know, when you fall in the shower and then, you know.
can't get up?
You can't get up.
And your life alerts
I can't
on
get
the
up.
counter.
They're waterproof.
Yeah, but imagine if you fell and it was on the counter.
Yeah.
That would be
that
bad.
Would have been the situation I was in.
Yeah. Grace, bring me my life alert.
I was alone. The dog is just outside. Of
The dog
kennel,
is just scratching.
just whining, and I'm like, just still being showered by water. I've torn down the curtain.
You tore the curtain off the
Oh
rug?
yeah, it was
Wait,
so bad.
that's incredible.
Both feet just left underneath me.
Oh my goodness.
It was bad.
Did you just stay there till she got home, or?
I stayed there for longer than I should have, but then I didn't want the water to get on the floor and damage the floor because then
Oh.
I'd have to fix that. So
Good plan. So, I figured we could watch something together. As we all know,
Movie night.
Oblivion Shadowdropped recently. So since this is, Christian Influence is a gaming ministry, we try to talk about video games from time to time, but we should probably talk about them more. But for those that don't know, there's no way anybody watching this doesn't know this. Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remastered, Shadowdropped earlier in the week. And
Wild.
if you're watching this episode, you'll know just what's going on, Shibs. All right, few technical difficulties there, but we got everything figured out.
during the break, I didn't want to look completely dumb for knowing nothing about this game, so I googled Oblivion and it brought up a Tom Cruise movie. So
Let's just say
I've never heard of that.
he's up to date and up to speed on things.
Wait,
you know?
is Oblivion the Tom Cruise movie where he's like flying in that white ornithopter thing?
yeah,
It is?
yeah,
So it's like in the last 10 years.
2013 according to Google.
It's kind of a cool movie, I thought.
Was it?
I think so.
I never
I
watched
couldn't.
it.
I don't remember.
It has it's one of those with a twist at the end.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything about
A
it.
lot of those kind of movies are.
Yeah,
The Tom Cruise ones?
No, the ones where it's like
There's a
you
twist
know
at the end.
strange one shot like sci-fi movies.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't remember anything about that. Just that, like, I only remember Tom Cruise being in it.
I remember
And
Tom
everything
Cruise
is white.
sitting in a white thing.
Yeah, Tom Cruise sitting in a white thing. It was just a minivan. But so as what we were talking about was just like, if you're watching this, Oblivion, you know, it's old news. But we want to watch it because some of us here haven't seen the trailer. It'd be fun to watch and react to it together, and then kind of talk about our history with Elder Scrolls or whatever. And then there's a cool thing about Oblivion that I think would be fun to chat about. So we're going to watch this and react to it together, and then go from there. So this is the game that came out before. This is like Elder Scrolls 4. Skyrim is 5.
Is Elder Scrolls 4, yeah. Not like.
You have... Hang on, can we pause it real quick? If there's anyone in this room that's going to go, hey, yeah, it's not like something, it is something, you are the last person to bring that up. Can we phone Kanan in real quick? 'Cause I think he has a Levi like counter going.
Does he actually?
I would believe it.
I would believe it. He does.
Right.
He does razz me on.
Let's move like right along,
dude.
This is the 27th of last seed.
So it's a very peaceful game, like
The year of Akatosh, 433.
Beautiful. Crabs.
Oh, it looks so good.
It does look good.
These are the closing days of the third era
Era.
and the final hours of my life.
He looks so good.
Yeah.
So much better than he did.
Doesn't look like a potato anymore.
I have seen the gates of Oblivion, beyond which no waking eye may see.
It's
This is only the beginning.
Creepy.
Worse is yet to come. Looks clear.
man, dude.
use a Dalmatian
That
to make
first.
The time of cleansing draws nigh.
The story's
Who now will save us from the coming darkness?
They look lizard people.
Those lizard people look really cool.
dude. Those demons look so much better. Dude, doesn't this look good?
Here you must find your own path.
Are we having an issue out there?
It just is super cool. Dude, there's so much. This is gonna open it up for so many more people.
Yeah. A unicorn.
Yeah, dude.
Find him.
Have you played Oblivion?
I
Shut
did.
the
I didn't
jaws
finish
of
it,
Oblivion.
but Chips has played
Oh, you have, Shibs?
a lot.
Yeah, because my understanding... So I've never played it. I tried. I got it for free, and I tried. I started the beginning of it. And my problem was, like, I just couldn't do... I hate when the problem is, like, I'm just too young because the graphics are too bad. You know, like, just to be like a kid, kind of. But the graphics were really bad and give me a headache.
I did that with the God of War.
Oh, the original
Oh,
ones?
really?
Yeah.
Were they that bad?
I mean, they were PS2 graphics.
Oh, okay, yeah.
No, like,
But the main thing for me was the UI.
no, the
UI was...
the UI is
like, you couldn't find
haggard.
anything. Like,
I mean,
I was like, I'll get past the graphics.
It takes a while to even understand what's going on with the UI.
Yeah.
None of it actually makes sense just by looking at it.
Yeah.
A lot of it just comes down to memorizing. Oh yeah, that symbol's just this menu. That symbol's this menu.
But the cool thing about this game is, like, it's the game that basically set the standard for people for RPGs. Like, this is an open world RPG. This is the standard for open world RPGs. This is their experience with it. It defined it for them. And then later, you had Skyrim, which just improved on that for all those people that loved that, and then set the standard for a new generation, right?
Yeah.
And so...
But the other thing is with Oblivion is that the systems are just different. There's a lot more ability, like there's a lot more ways of just improve. I'm just noticing every time they say like now.
Oh.
And there's a lot of ways of improving yourself and being able to cast different spells and like create certain spells.
Right.
Which is really, really cool when you're comparing it to Skyrim where you can just like, enchant things, but just create things.
No,
That's a thing I noticed in this trailer though, is they kind of put Skyrim mechanics back into Oblivion. Because it's been a while since I played, but if I recall, you couldn't put a spell on each hand in Oblivion like you could you can in Skyrim.
Well,
But it looks like they brought that back into
Did
Oblivion.
so in Oblivion, you were able to do your stuff, and then you were just like casting. You had one spell, and then you had your whatever else you were doing.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
So you could always like how they showed in the video, where he had a bow, and then all of a sudden he raised up his hand to cast a spell.
Yeah, it looks really cool. Like I said, I just played the beginning of Oblivion where you're in the sewer, and then I just couldn't get past it. But I've always wanted to play it.
That beginning is so intense, and it looks.
If you didn't get out of the sewer, you didn't play the game.
I know. I'm saying like I started playing it. I only played the beginning, and the reason I couldn't play it is like it was giving me such a headache to try and play it because certain games make me really sick.
Oh yeah.
And that game, for whatever reason, was just I was walking away with such a bad headache.
Well, you got to get out into the light, but also a lot of things, a lot of the mechanics unlock as you go through the sewer.
Yeah.
So you don't have everything until you get out of the sewer.
That makes sense. Yeah, and then the UI was atrocious. But my understanding is it's the same game, which is great. It's still the creation engine, but they used Unreal Engine 5 to make all the graphics look nicer. And then they kept a lot of the jank, like obviously the atrocious character creation that you can do, which is incredible. But then I didn't know this until I knew that there was like hilarious voice lines in the game, but I didn't know that there's a specific one that they chose to leave in. They left all the voice lines in that are iconic and funny about Oblivion. So like the "Stop, you've violated the law," right, and all that stuff that people meme. But there's, I guess, an NPC that when you talk to her, she says something like, "And they killed the wizards, and they killed the elves, and they killed this part." Hang on, let me try that one again. And then they killed the wizards, and then they killed, like, in the voice recording booth, I guess she says the line, goes, hang on, let me try that again, and then says it again, and that's the character's voice line on accident. So they left it in, even in the remaster, which is so funny. Which is so smart, because, like, for a game company to be like, hey, we're just going to do, like, what you love about the game, we're leaving that all in, and then they just improve on the experience, so I think that UI is better. And
there's a bunch of bugs that they did fix apparently, but then they left a bunch of other ones in that were just like iconic.
that don't like take away from the experience, right? Like make it harder to play the game.
Yeah,
which is great.
You're just saying that they did what the people wanted,
basically.
yeah.
Or at least attempted to.
Yeah, I haven't seen any negative reaction to the game.
The only thing that I have heard is just the timing of it is suspicious.
Oh, really? Yeah, no, that's fair. But I haven't heard any negative reaction to like the game it coming out. All I've heard, like basically everyone's talking about. Also, it's only $50. So I watched this video. There's this guy, a YouTube channel called Legendary Drops, I think is his channel, and he made a great point. He was talking about how this game comes out at a time that is genius because the gaming industry, everything is getting more and more expensive. Like, you've got all these AAA studios that are churning out steaming piles of dog poop, and they're charging you $70 for them.
Assassin's Creed.
And, yeah. Sorry, you say that on mic for me?
Assassin's Creed?
Oh, yeah. Basically every Assassin's Creed game that's coming out. But you've got all this garbage, and they're slowly encroaching on $70, $80, $90 prices.
And the Switch games were all, for Switch 2, were all just released and like, what is it called?
The Breath of the Wild remake, did you see that?
Well, no. I haven't seen that. But they were just showing off that all of the Switch 2 games are going to be either $80 or $90.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Yeah, I think the standard price on them is $80. And then my understanding is that they're doing a remaster of Breath of the Wild, which isn't even that old of a game, right? But they're remastering it for the Switch 2, I'm pretty sure. And they announced that, I'm fairly certain, no DLC, it's just the game, it's $90. And so Oblivion comes out, and they're like $50. All the DLC is included.
Well, not all of it. You have to pay extra to get the horse armor, just like the original game.
No, that horse armor is in the game. They released a separate one that's not DLC. There is a deluxe edition that comes with some armor sets. The original horse armor that was the meme is included.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I had just seen somebody talking about the game, and then they were like, yeah, and as a nod to everything else.
It is still
There's
nod.
a deluxe edition that has horse armor.
But it's got other stuff too.
Because there was an entire DLC to add 2 types of horse armor into the game.
So apparently Oblivion started
For
microtransactions, and it had this huge thing, and it was a meme for a long time. But no, that horse armor is included. There's just a deluxe edition of the game that you can pay $10 extra for that comes with 2 full armor sets, and in it, some of the armor is for horses as well. So people were just saying, like, it's still like a nod to it. But that old green whatever one from the original, it's included in the $50. So the cool thing, though, about this is, like, Bethesda, owned by Microsoft, it's taken L's, after L, repeatedly, basically, because PlayStation, way better. They're outselling almost 2-to-1 on the Xbox. They destroyed the game franchise that basically made them unique, which was Halo. So they basically took their mascot and threw it in the toilet. And so then they're like, oh, we're going to be the Netflix of video games with Game Pass. That'll be great. And it's working, but not as well as they'd hoped. So I guess, like, this guy was just talking, I think it's smart. He's like, dude, this is what they need to do. They need to show, like, they need to change the industry by saying, hey, we're going to provide value to gaming again. And so by charging $50 for this game, they're just showing, like, yeah, we can do a remaster. And it's not just a new coat of paint. Like, it's a full new coat of paint, and they made actual improvements. Like, the UI totally improved. Combat is improved. Tons of stuff has been changed and updated. Every single asset in the game has been remade by hand. So every single sword, item, everything, like, it's really impressive, and that they're charging $50. So super cool. But yeah, the thing you were referencing, this got Shadowdropped, right? Just gets dropped by itself. No announcement.
There were like a couple leaks of like photos that were like, oh, we're not going to say what this is, but it's just like, a
Bethesda
piece of
wasn't.
landscape.
Yeah, but
that was just like good graphics, the ones that we saw there.
Yeah, it was getting leaked, but nothing official.
Yeah. And
then a ton of people were talking about it. They're like, there's no way this is real. Because people have been talking about an Oblivion remaster or things like that for a long time. And people are like, yeah, a lot of like big people on YouTube, big influencers and stuff in the gaming space were like, yeah, I don't think these are real. And then all of a sudden Bethesda all but confirms it by kind of like, I think by basically saying nothing when people are asking them. And then they just confirm it, schedule a live stream for the next day, do a big live stream, and in the live stream the guy's like, all right, it's available today. And just this shadow drop, right? It's just available, right? There's no build up, no announcement, just crazy. So the controversy, you want to talk about, like, why you think it's a controversy?
Oh, so there's this other group of people that using Skyrim, all the assets in Skyrim, all of the groundwork of Skyrim, have been using that framework to import the entire map, all of the storylines, all of the quests, all of the items, and putting it, using the Skyrim engine, basically, all of the Skyrim assets, and modding it to be Oblivion, so they're calling it Skyblivion, and having, so you can play the entirety of Oblivion through Skyrim, so it's like, just a better version of Oblivion, gets it to reach more people, the story of it.
A better version of the original Oblivion.
Of the original Oblivion. Yeah. And then, because they're about to release it like in the month.
It's been available sort of for a while in play testing. A lot
of play testing, and
they're a modding
testing
team,
a bunch of things,
and they've been all doing it just in their spare time for free. And they're using the creation engine and everything from Skyrim to remake Oblivion in it as a mod.
And they've been doing it for years.
Almost 10 years, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
And then
how long Skyrim's been out?
Skyrim's been out for 14 years.
14 years.
So when did Oblivion
13
release?
Oblivion released in 2006 or 2007. So these guys have been doing this, for like the last 10 years while Skyrim's been out. They've been wanting to. Their whole thing was like, we want to, Skyrim took over a new generation. A ton of these people that love Skyrim have never played Oblivion. They're like, we want people to enjoy Oblivion, but it's hard to get into because the graphics are terrible. So they were remaking it as a mod for Skyrim, so you could play both games in one. And they were about to officially release, it's going to still need work, but they were about to be like, all right, we're releasing the mod. It's done. Like, it's playable. And it was supposed to release in May, is my understanding. And then, out of nowhere, Oblivion Shadowdrops, they have a remaster, right?
Yeah.
So
in April. And it's like,
I haven't actually, to that point, I haven't actually seen anybody really upset about this.
Oh, okay.
Because, like, I wondered. The first thing I thought of when I saw the Oblivion remaster was like, man, those Skyblivion guys, I wonder what their response is to it. Because that seems rough.
How did they actually respond?
Let's pull it up, Shibs. We've got a Skyblivion official response. So I think this is really interesting because you see game studios all the time rolling in and being like, oh, you're getting too popular for doing something good with our game. They're like, yeah, mods are fine. Oh, people like your mod a lot. We're going to get rid of it. We're going to take it. Dude, Wizards of the Coast with D&D, basically, there was that whole open game license issue where they're like, man, third-party content is really popular for Dungeons & Dragons. We're going to change our game license to say we actually own all the stuff that you made. And it was like, right? And then now D&D is tanking in the market. But the Skyblivion team released this statement. It says, we've been following the buzz surrounding the official remaster of Oblivion. As dedicated Elder Scrolls fans, we're incredibly excited by this prospect and sincerely hope the information proves accurate. Right. So this is before the actual broadcast live stream where they announced and did the Shadowdrop. But it was kind of all over the place, and I think it had just been maybe semi-confirmed. The glimpses we've seen look fantastic, and we hope the information proves... Oh, I reread the same line. And we eagerly anticipate the possibility of experiencing a modern, professionally developed return to Cyrodiil. Bethesda has always been supportive of community projects like ours, and we don't see that changing anytime soon. As a PC mod, a console release is impossible for us, so the remaster presents a wonderful opportunity for console players to re-experience Oblivion, something our project could never directly provide. So I think they're just seeing it for what it is.
Yeah.
And I'll get to something else too that really proves that I don't think Bethesda was going to poo-poo on Skyblivion. I think that they released this because they wanted to. Actually, they didn't. So what we've heard from insiders is that Microsoft came in and was like, we want an Oblivion remake. Because, like I was saying before, Microsoft has nothing going for them. Yeah. And they're like, we need you guys to remaster. And Bethesda wasn't even on their project list. So they hire out this other studio that they work with or own or something, right? I think it's called Virtuous. And this studio's been working on it because Microsoft was pushing for it. So I don't think Bethesda rolled in and was like, you're making something too good. We're going to poo-poo on it, and we're going to just shadow drop it right now. I don't think they shadow dropped it to poo-poo on Skyblivion. I think they recognized with Skyblivion's release, that's going to have some hype for Oblivion. So they're also going to capitalize on that. But I think more than anything, it was a targeted attack on Nintendo. I honestly do. Like, they're like, dude, Nintendo just had this huge announcement, and we are falling behind in the market. We are going to counter them by showing, like, we're bringing value. Because I don't think this is the last. I think Xbox is going to come back hard with some like more value games. But it says, we want to emphasize that there's no need for comparisons or a sense of competition between Skyblivion and a potential official remaster. Both projects can exist and thrive together, offering unique experiences for players. Skyblivion is a labor of love built by a dedicated community for the community, offering a distinct way to revisit Oblivion within the familiar framework of the creation engine. Similarly, an official remaster would undoubtedly bring its own set of advancements with the full funding of a development studio. We see this not as a conflict, but as a fantastic opportunity for Elder Scrolls fans to have even more ways to enjoy the classic world of Cyrodiil. So it's basically them being like, this is just a good thing, because the reason they're making Skyblivion is because they love the game and they want more people to enjoy it, and this is just another way to make sure that happens. So
Okay.
But to throw a little more extra sauce on there, this is Skyblivion's response, right? They're like, yeah, we love this. This is great. It isn't a bad thing at all. Bethesda gave free copies of the Oblivion remaster to the whole Skyblivion team too.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And they were like, we just want you to know, like, we love what you guys are doing, and we are not doing anything to cancel your project. So
that's pretty cool. I did see one other person post the Jesse Pinkman like yelling at Todd Howard, you can't keep getting away with this, because they keep recycling all their, because Skyrim had 50 some re-releases, but this is actually different. No, so it is actually different than just re-releasing Skyrim over and over again, because it's actually improved graphics, potentially fixing a bunch of the bugs,
and they didn't release it at a brand new game's price point either. Yeah, like the old re-releases of Skyrim,
which I bought every single copy.
Oh, really?
I mean, basically.
But yeah, the anniversary edition.
I had to buy it on PlayStation 3, and then I got it on PS4, and then I got the Legendary Edition on PS4, and then I got it on my computer, and then I got the better version on my computer.
Bethesda simp over here.
No, it's just
It's like me with Assassin's Creed.
I just
You know, I
had
think
to.
would have been a better avenue they could have gone down is remaster Morrowind.
dude, honestly. Dude, Morrowind, so good.
I just
mean,
think that it's because Oblivion for so many people like that was their highest selling
Oblivion
game.
Oblivion was like the big one. Like it was way bigger than Morrowind.
Morrowind walked so that Oblivion could run, right?
Well,
Basically,
the thing is, Morrowind, every time you swung your sword, it was a dice roll.
Dude.
And that turned a lot of people off.
Really?
And they could have
okay,
remastered it to be Oblivion,
Yeah.
Skyrim style.
Yeah,
So-
they probably will.
Take the dice roll out.
so
That
the
would be smart.
Morrowind gameplay, it is different. It is incredibly different because it's all dice rolls. You have to hit somebody like physically. You have to be inside their hitbox, and then there's a dice roll that happens to see if you actually hit.
That's stupid.
And then it dice rolls the damage. And it's even worse with arrows because it's hard to aim arrows. But
Shibs liked that about it? Oh, okay. I was like, that's stupid.
No, I stood up and then the volume came back up. It was weird.
Yeah.
That's strange.
Your headphones are just being
Yeah.
Goofy. So
Jinky janky.
it's a different system. You have to understand that going into it.
Yeah.
But as you gain levels, that percentage goes way, way up. And you also have to understand there's the stamina bar, and every time that you swing it, as your stamina goes lower, all of your dice rolls are harder to achieve. So being at 100% stamina, you have you're
the best chance.
rolling way better. On 0%, you have like a 5% chance of actually doing anything. And like spells can fail, but it makes combat so much different. I really enjoyed it once I got into it.
Sure.
But the problem is you have to start at low level where it's already difficult to hit things. But it's also, as you're using specific skills, you're upgrading those, and then your level ups, you're basically only able to do these things. And I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I
it
love
does
the
sound like it
mechanics
could
in
be fun.
It sucks to get into, and the graphics are bad. And there is a lot of just jank. Also, with your shield, it's just a random chance that you raise it up when you get hit.
That's weird.
It's not just, you can hold it up. It's just there as long as it's equipped. And then randomly, as someone's attacking you, it'll go up, and then you'll gain a level. And then you pull it up more often as you gain more levels.
So it's not like they would be making it worse if they updated and made a remaster of Morrowind kind of along the same lines as Oblivion. Like made the combat a little bit more Skyrim-like. Because a lot of people it would actually get people to play the game and experience the story.
I think that if you update all the graphics but leave... I just have a place in my heart for the combat in
For that
Morrowind.
weird system.
Because it's just different.
Yeah. Well, it's strange compared to modern systems. Like there's not games typically like that. It's almost an RTS, like a real-time strategy system in a open world RPG.
Yeah.
That's very interesting.
But, when you're hitting somebody, you're going to be hitting them, on their armor, not actually dealing damage
yeah.
with every single swing that you do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's ways to simulate that too in the other way where like you have an armor, like a certain amount of damage that armor takes up, right? Or like you have armor piercing damage that goes through armor or it doesn't, and so you have to wait until you beat up the armor, right? Like you don't just have to have like it's not like the only way to simulate the hitting armor and not hitting the person is just through random chance, right?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, sure. But I just don't see any other game. I don't see other open world RPGs that do it that way then either.
Really? You've never seen an armor bar on like have you ever played an MMO?
Okay, sure, I guess in MMOs.
Not all of them, but like there's so many games like that where like they have or first person single player RPGs and stuff where enemies have armor bars and also have health bars.
Yeah,
And certain damage just goes straight through to their health or
You
like
played Fortnite, dude?
I mean,
yeah, you ever
very little.
guzzle down some slug juice or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about,
Yeah, that's not what I was talking about, but I mean, it is kind of. I just mean like there's lots of RPGs where you've got a health bar and an armor, like especially specifically like enemies have that, right? And some weapons go through straight to their health and some things don't. And
No,
you have to-
It is in things. I'm just
What I think is a more accurate statement is what you're saying. I've never ever seen another game do what the Morrowind thing.
The RNG.
Yeah, the Morrowind thing, like an open world RPG. I've never seen that in an open world RPG. Okay. But I don't think that it's bad. I was just saying that the barrier to entry is lower if you make it more like Skyrim, so more people might experience the game.
Levi, is that because shield was an ability? Like you had to dice roll whether your shield came up or something?
Yeah, it was just a dice roll. Every time that you get hit, it's a dice roll whether you raise up your shield. Less stamina that you have, less likely you're able to bring up your shield. And when you're boxing, you actually deal 0 damage. Every time that you hit with your fist, you only deal stamina damage. But if you punch somebody when they're at 0 stamina, they just go unconscious.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
You just knock them out.
That's cool.
And and as you're hitting them, you're more likely to hit the next time, because the more stamina you have and that they have, the more stamina somebody has, the more chance that their armor and their other effects are going to make it harder for you to hit them.
I think a stamina bar with a shield, you raising it and not having stamina to raise it makes more realistic sense than the RNG of like, oh, I wasn't able to raise it this time because of random chance. Like, I think...
I mean, as your stamina goes lower, you're less likely to bring it up.
Yeah, but I mean, a more realistic thing is like being able to hold it up, and then you are tired and not able to anymore. Like,
okay. I like the idea of it being, a little bit like D&D in a sense where you're trying to hit somebody and they are actively trying to dodge your attacks.
Yeah. Well, you can still simulate that with the shield. Like, that's called your actual response time. So it makes it more realistic if, oh, I didn't bring up my shield.
Yeah, but it's not. It's your character, and they're getting experience not the same way that you are.
Well, I like to role play as my character. So, like, I like to try and as much.
Yeah, and you can role play as your character, and they start out with little experience with being able to like dodge everything with a shield.
What's that word? I can never remember it. It's not simulation, where they say immersion, right? It's like more immersive to be like, oh, I didn't like it wasn't just a 25% chance because of how high my stamina was, whether or not I got my shield up in time when he hit me. It was based on my reaction time. So a fast attack is coming in. Oh, I go for my shield and I did it just too late. And I'm able to hold my shield up long enough, but if I keep holding it up, my stamina goes down. So then I'm too tired. And then he goes and attacks. Like, I'm more immersed in the game if I have the control. And it's not unrealistic because like I'm still bringing it up in time. Whereas it is interesting, and I'm not saying it's not fun, but it is less immersive to me if it's just this passive ability where based on the amount of stamina I have, my character might automatically bring his shield up or not.
Yeah. I'm not
It
saying
is simulating realism.
But I'm not saying it's not jank. It's incredibly jank. And
is it?
It's really frustrating at times. Like most of the time, honestly.
Well, it sounds great. I mean,
all right, I have a question. As our residential fake gamer who only plays sports games and Battlefield for the campaign,
we kind of a little while there.
If I'm wanting to play one of these games that like we talk about a lot, we have Oblivion, we have Skyrim, we have Baldur's Gate, we have The Witcher. Yeah. What's the one that you would say if you're going to start with something like this? Start here.
Skyrim. To start with one, I think it's right in the middle of like not being too advanced as far as its mechanics. And like, for example, Witcher, I would never even recommend The Witcher because I think
we just talk about it a lot, which is why I brought it up.
Back in the day, I was playing it a lot. Yeah, and I can't play that game anymore. I can't recommend it either because I think it's really fun, but it's got a lot of nudity in it, and I just don't feel comfortable recommending it. And it's one that I like. The gameplay is really fun, and I wish that I could just take that out of it. But but I think it's more like got some more advanced systems that you need to pay attention to, which make it fun. But for like a brand new player, not a lot of experience with those sorts of games, jumping right into it, I don't think The Witcher is the way to go. I definitely don't think Dragon Age is the way to go.
No.
Dragon Age Inquisition, that thing is a slog a lot.
I think Baldur's Gate 3 is a good one, but it's a definitely different game.
I think it's wrong to be in that list.
Yeah, it's a different type of game because it's a,
you're simulating
turn-based
D&D.
strategy.
Yeah.
It's D&D.
Yeah. But these other ones are like Assassin's Creed kind of in that they're open world. Yeah. Like Assassin's Creed changed their type of game to be these open world RPGs.
Yeah, they changed it into being one instead of being what they actually were.
So if you want to jump into a open world RPG, fantasy open world RPG, I would recommend Skyrim is the lowest barrier to entry, like but with a high amount of return.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I haven't played the Oblivion remaster.
I think that the Oblivion remaster is probably going to be better than Skyrim.
A better game?
Yeah.
Hot take.
Because I know that the story, from what I remember, is better.
Oh, the story might be
The
better.
story's better, and if the gameplay is, more,
But it's a smaller game,
if
like
it
less
if
to
it
do.
feels better like Skyrim,
Yeah.
well, I mean, yeah, there was a lot in Skyrim of just walking around in scenery, and you get that a lot in Oblivion as well.
What I've heard though is that the scenery is less dynamic, even in the remaster, and that they didn't change dungeons. So dungeons are still, I guess what a lot of people said is like Oblivion had really long, like drawn out dungeons that felt really, eventually you're just like, this is a slog and it's getting boring. They didn't change that. And then the other thing about the combat that they left in that was bad, quote unquote, about Oblivion was the combat scaling. So in Skyrim, certain areas scale to your level, but they only scale so much so that it still makes sense. If you're this legendary hero, high level, you can go to a low level area and they will scale it up. Instead of being like 2 rats in a cave, now it's 5 rats and a spider, but you're still going to just tear through those enemies, but it still feels a little bit like it would have been easier if you were just level 1. In this, no matter what you do, things always scale to your level. Yeah. And so you go back to just a bandit that if you attacked him at level 1, he would have had like 10 health, let's say. But now you're attacking him at level 100, and for some reason this bandit that just stole a piece of bread from the town square is like a legendary villain,
Yeah. It's the scaling is wild in Oblivion. If you do not max out all of your stats and make your character busted, you will get destroyed
by even just the little by
the smallest things. Just the power creep is,
which
it's
I think
not
is,
even a creep.
I think is a bad system. Like I think it's objectively a bad system to play it that way. Like it makes more sense to do what Skyrim did, and that is so. When I've been listening to people talk about Oblivion, they've all been like, "Yeah, they left in the old systems, and that's okay." They're like, honestly though, the only one I wish they had actually changed that I don't like, I wish they had changed the power creep. There should have been more realistic scaling like Skyrim, which I think is a fair criticism, but I haven't played it.
So the thing about Oblivion, it's like Skyrim. To up your skill, you do the
thing.
Yeah. I would spend time in Oblivion. I would find a house porch that would have a low overhang. And I would just jump to get your athletics up.
Dude, wow. Because when you get your athletics up, it's wild because you get such a higher jump and you take less fall damage.
That's funny.
And
David and I were talking last
Did they have movement speed in Oblivion? Because I know that
there was no sprint. I know that.
I don't recall, but
because I know
would do that
in
with all different types of skills. So like I would conjure up an enemy and then use my sword to kill it. So my conjuring and my sword would go up.
I did not play Oblivion as much as I did Morrowind, but in Morrowind you had one of your skills was, I think it was athletics, because there was athletics and acrobatics. Athletics is like you're walking and running and swimming, and acrobatics is your jumping and fall damage. And so what you do is just you just walk and walk and walk and walk, and over time your walking becomes faster and faster and faster and faster, and the more that you're moving, the higher it goes up. And there were these boots called boots of blinding speed. You put them on and it gives you 1,000, it was either 100 or 1,000 levels in basically a bump to your athletics,
but you're blind,
movement speed. But it blinds you.
Wow.
You're entirely blind, but you move at 1,000,000 miles an hour. So you equip them, and you aim yourself where you want to go. You equip them, you press forward, like for a few seconds, you release it, you unequip them, and see where you're at.
That's ridiculous.
You're right back in the same spot you started because you circled the whole.
Yeah, you circled the entire map. No, but it was wild. And then you could like make other spells to give yourself cat eyes to be able to see a little bit better. So you could augment the boots to be able to wear the boots of blinding speed, but having them different. But just sprinting with those give you more levels.
Yeah.
And it was crazy.
So I have a question for each of you to answer yes or no. Will you play the remaster?
So, I think that I will eventually. My problem is, right when the remaster came out, I saw this other game, and I went for this other game that I literally had heard nothing about ever, but the gameplay looked a little bit cool.
Expedition 33.
Expedition 33.
I knew it.
And I got it. I started playing it. It is incredible.
Really?
I love it so much. It's turn-based. You're walking around your world and stuff. But the story, I know nothing about the story. So going into this brand new world, I know nothing
She dies.
about.
No, I don't even know anything. I don't even know it.
He looks so sad.
I don't even know if there's a female
There's a character I am so invested in.
No, I don't even know if there's female characters in the game. I know nothing about it as well, just to clarify. I just know that it just came out. A game called Expedition 33.
But I
Called like Cult Obscura or something?
no. Claire Obscura.
Oh, yeah.
Expedition 33. But
Claire is
but
the name.
I scrolled
change the
through
line.
just like I scrolled through some of the
Cult Obscura.
Yeah.
Cult Obscura. I scrolled through some of the comments on Steam and some of the images that had been posted, some of the memes about the game, and there was one of them. You know the one where it's 2 buttons and
Yeah.
the guy's just like had trying to figure out which one, and it's Oblivion Remaster and Expedition 33. But I got it. I do not regret it at all.
Yeah, I've heard good things.
It's
People
so
really
much
like
fun.
it.
The story is super cool so far, and it's really, really interesting. Yeah.
So to answer a yes or no question, so you're saying no.
So no, I'm saying yes. Eventually, I'm gonna play a couple games.
My answer is also yes eventually. I really want to play it. I want to get it because it says it's fully Steam Deck supported, and I have a Steam Deck. And I want to get it so that, like, if I'm on a plane or something, because I'm supposedly going to be doing some traveling soon, I have something to play. I really like that. But I don't have the money right now. Literally, like, things are very tight, and I was like, I can't justify just buying the game. And then also, I don't really have the time, like, to play games, and it's a bummer. So when I play a game, it's like something match-based, and I wish I could play something more like Skyrim and play it regularly. So, yep, I would like to, but I know that I would be wasting my family's money if I bought it right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna say just probably no. Like I hardly get to play
No, that's fair.
video games at all now, and especially like with my kids at the age that they play video games. It's like I have 2 days off a week. So I have the time that they're in school that I can play video games.
Yeah.
And then usually during that time, there's stuff that I have to do around the house. So I don't get to play that much, but it's like Skyrim interests me more. Like there's so many games that I just haven't played, like Fallout. Like there's just so much more that interests me, and I just don't have the time to get into anything. So
I think you'd like Fallout. Probably Fallout 4 would be an easy one to jump into as well.
Yeah.
But I think you'd like Skyrim too. A lot of dragons. They're pretty fun. I mean, that's the whole point of that game. It was like, what if we had an Elder Scrolls game with dragons all over?
I mean,
It's pretty fun.
all right.
I'm not saying they weren't in the other ones, but like they took
No,
they
yeah.
took this
They-
bucket that is Elder Scrolls, and they took a bucket that is dragons and went.
Yeah.
That's Skyrim.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
There's a lot of story implications. Like once you start knowing the story
Yeah.
of Oblivion, having played so much Skyrim, because I was like,
you know what I'll probably do is I'll probably watch a YouTube video that walks me
Explaining
through
the
the
lore.
story of
I've
Elder
done that.
Scrolls.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah,
Yeah. I watched a cool one a long time ago about like
that's what I did with
why.
God of War leading up to that game. I was like, well, I want to know the story.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I would like to play it though. It looks like fun. Jude already is playing it. I saw it on his Discord. It said he had been playing it the last couple days. And
Makes sense.
When I told him about it, he was like, "Yeah, dude, I can't wait to play it." So, I think it'd be really fun to play it with Jude, because I'm sure that there's going to be a co-op mod coming out very soon, and that would be fun, like Skyrim together. I
dude,
really
Skyrim
think
took so long to get made, so I don't know how soon that's gonna be.
yeah, and there's no official mod support, but I really think that guys at Christian Influence, we should get the Skyrim Together mod and all play Skyrim together.
It'd be pretty dope.
I think it'd be a fun YouTube, like, we could make a little series of Skyrim together. Because that is just janky and wild, and especially with Jaret's first experience.
Dude, Jared's first experience with us.
He'd have to have a PC, though.
Oh, shoot.
But first experience of Skyrim is Skyrim Together. Basically, it's a single-player game, but they made a mod where you can invite people to your game and play it as if it's a co-op game. But the problem is, like, each of you are playing a single-player game together. So, like, you're completing main quests, and you got to really make sure you're doing them together, or else, like... Because it's not, like, the game isn't made for that.
It's very jank, and it's very fun.
I've played a little bit of it.
Oh, maybe somebody could loan him a laptop temporarily.
That's true.
I have a laptop.
Oh,
Yeah, if your laptop's strong enough to play. I mean, with the mod,
It's an HP.
All right, we really have to move along because we've been talking about video games for so long. Let's see, what do we have next? We have a question from a viewer. So, if you're watching this show and you want to help be a part of it, there are two primary ways this season you can. You can go to our Discord, discord.gg/ChristianInfluence. And if you go to the Discord, there's a thread, or excuse me, a channel that says Under the Influence for this show. And there's a thread there that says Podcast Q&A Submissions. We want to hear from you. What are your questions? You know, people have asked us, you know, like how do you deal with family members that are not Christians? How have you dealt with that in your life, right? We want to talk about that, things like that. So send us questions. We got one from a viewer called Really Not Celeste. And I just don't have it on the screen here yet, but there it is. We got a question today, literally today, and so I'm very grateful that she sent this in. The question is, if there's one thing you could instantaneously change about yourself, what would it be and why? And then, what's preventing you from working on that change, if applicable? So if you could instantaneously change one thing about yourself. So this is more like a kind of a personal question. It could be pretty deep. I don't know. It could be very simple, but instantaneously change one thing about yourself.
Well, mine's easy. Mine's my weight. I just lack the motivation to put time into that. I always find an excuse to do something else or not focus it. And if I start something, I find it hard to continue with it. So I know it needs to be done, and I've been like trying to make positive steps for it, but then it just something comes up in life, and then I'm like, well, I can just put this on the back burner for now, and then it just stays there. So I know what's wrong with me. I know exactly why I don't do it, and I just haven't changed. So
yeah, the easiest way I've found is just drink a lot of water and eat less. And then exercise will just make it better and faster. But I think for me, for a long time, and I need to get back on that as well, but for a long time I was like, man, I really need to lose weight. And I was like, but I don't want to exercise. I don't want to work out. It's terrible. And then I was like, well, wait a second. I guess if I actually also stop gorging myself every day. And it worked. But I need to get back to that because now it's just so hard not to be like, you know, oh, there's this delicious food that Perry cooked. I'm going to have more of it.
Yeah.
Because before I was married, I'm not blaming her for it, but I mean, before I was married, I said this one time in the Discord and someone's like, wow, you're just blaming your wife. And like, I think they were serious. Like I was being like the patriarchy or something. Like it's my wife's fault, which I was not. I was just saying that like I was single. It was easier to lose weight when I was single. And I could just be like, I'm just going to buy a thing that on the back says it's 500 calories and that's my dinner and I won't eat anything else. And if I eat anything else, it's a bunch of blueberries or something. But now it's like she makes delicious tater tot casserole or whatever. It's like I want to eat that and then more of it. Mm-hmm. And I'm bad at that.
Yeah, my wife does the same thing. And then no one else in my family eats leftovers.
Yeah.
Like they just refuse to. They're like, well, we'll just make something new. We already had that.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, well, I'm not going to let it go to waste.
Yeah. I grew up like you don't let stuff go to waste.
Yeah.
You finish all your food and like you make sure. And Perry is not like wasteful, but she's not as OCD about it as I am. So I'm like, no, for the next 3 days, the only thing I'm eating are those things so that it doesn't go to waste. And she's like, well, we should make dinner and not have to eat the same thing the next day. And I'm like, well, yeah, like that makes sense. Like when you have a family to not be like, okay, kids, we're eating the same thing for the next 5 days, you know, but like I have no problem doing that. So I am the one that eats a lot of the leftovers. And also she's more nervous about like them going bad, where I'm like, if they're in the fridge, they're good for at least a week. You know,
if she's nervous about them going bad, then why doesn't she eat them before?
No, what I'm saying is like even if we eat them, and there's like if we make a whole casserole and there's 2 of us in the house eating it, and we eat them over the next 3 days, like even if she does do that, it's not going to all be gone. And so then I'm the only one eating them after that 3-day marker because then she's like, I don't know, I feel like it's gone a little bit wrong.
The fridge turns it into the genes of food.
Yeah.
You just keep going.
You just keep going.
You keep going until, you see a stain or it starts to smell.
Honestly,
Exactly.
smell off and see it. That's the rule. Like,
Yeah.
there's really... Because then it's like, dude, you're just living your life in constant fear. Because it's like, well, if it is going to be bad, but I can't see it or smell it or hear it, then like... Then, it's like, help me. Okay, don't eat it if it's,
You just hear cricket noises or
Chirp, chirp,
chattering coming from inside.
Yeah.
What's in that casserole?
I mean, I told Matt that I wanted him to start fat shaming me, like if he was just like in the middle of a sermon at church.
Dude, yeah, you
and was just like, and that's why when Jesus went, Jaret, you're so fat, and then just continue on. Dude, I'd be 160 pounds in 2 months. Like,
Yeah, but he's not going to do that.
I know, but I keep asking.
Someone visits church that day and they're like, I'm never coming back to this place. What?
Just put a disclaimer up there. But I told him that. I'm like, if you could just start fast shaming me in front of people, I could really.
The other
benefit
day,
from it.
dude, I take some photos that are just not very
Yeah, just Photoshop
Flattering.
me on top of the hut,
not very flattering. That's the word that I was looking for. And just have those just like every once in a while
On a slideshow?
On the slideshow. And
Would you appreciate that?
Yeah.
All right.
It'd be so helpful.
Yeah.
Dude.
The other day, Matt low-key fat shamed me a little bit. Like, I didn't care. It was actually the best way to say, like, hey, you're putting on weight, and it's enough now that not... Because, like, I obviously have noticed it. I thought I was like, man, I'm getting fat again when I put on, like, 10 pounds after we got married or whatever. But I was perfectly fine. But obviously, I've put it on. So I noticed it then, but other people don't think so until about this point. And it's, like, the nicest way for him to be like, hey, you've put on enough weight that you should probably do something about it. And he was like, the way he did it was, I just saw him. I was like, man, there's your Costco compliment sandwich. Because he's like talking about how him and Shibs have been running regularly. And he's like, you should come run with us. And I was like, well, it's like the time you guys run is a hard time for me to get away from things I'm doing already. So like, I'm not opposed to running with you guys. But if it was like 6 a.m. in the, I could make that work more easily than like in the afternoon. Because I'm often busy right then. And I was like, but yeah, I'm not saying no because I don't want to do it. It's just, he's like, yeah, well, I just think that like, he's like, Jerry, you're really strong. Like you're such a strong guy. And you want to probably keep it that way. Right. And I was like, yeah, I mean, I would like to stay, like, I don't want to deteriorate or whatever. And I was walking away thinking about it. And like the way he said it was not how Matt usually talks. How he's just like, he was just like so careful and thoughtful in the way he said it and like making eye contact with me and smiling. I walked away being like, oh, that was such a distinct way of Matt to speak. And how he said, oh, he was very nicely saying, Jerry, you're putting on weight and you shouldn't let yourself keep putting weight on. I was like, and it really struck me. Like I wasn't offended. I was like, that was it. That was all right. I needed that because someone else has noticed and he very kindly, he wasn't beating around the bush. He just said what it was without saying it harshly. And so I haven't eaten anything since then.
No, yeah. I don't really look at pictures of myself very often, I don't watch every episode of the podcast. But, yeah, I watched an episode of the podcast and I was like,
you've transformed.
what?
Oh, you watched a recent one and you were bummed?
Yeah.
Oh, no, dude. You've transformed. Like, you look way better.
Well, I'm just, I always, like, think in my mind back to high school.
Oh, yeah.
And I need
Don't do that. Nobody should do that. You're literally a child in high school.
Well, yeah. That's true. But I was also, a lot leaner.
Sure, yeah, but like it's not realistic to look back at high school for anyone and be like, that's peak me or what I should aspire to be. Like there is a middle ground. That's like that would be healthier than you were in high school with some more weight on. But I think that like dude, in the last year or whatever, you've slimmed down. Like there's
I know
podcasts
that I when I was working with my aunt, I know I'm also shorter than you guys. I also am not as large of a build as you guys are. Like in general, like the physique that I am is different. And
your disclaimer.
I'm saying that because of what I'm about to say.
Yeah, okay.
But when I was working with my aunt, towards the end of it, dude, I was stressing out that whole time. It was terrible. I was only eating
cheese.
No, I was only getting Uber Eats, and it was awful.
Dude, that's bad for you. That's what I was doing.
And like I would see just like a pan of I was just eating as much as I could because I was trying to fight off all the stress that I was having.
Yeah.
And I got onto a scale and I was at like 198 and I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Like that was like the shock.
Yeah.
Because I did not want to hit 200. And I know it's a different bar than you guys have.
Oh, that was why. I'm not offended. Like, you don't have to say like,
because that's insane.
Because like 198 would be incredible for me, but
So like, just for reference,
I had the same moment, but 100 pounds heavier.
Yeah. I mean, when I started working it down, because like I've come down and then I just stopped caring, and didn't keep going with it. So like when I started trying to lose weight, I was like 460 pounds. So then now when I'm down,
really?
Yeah.
Whoa. I did not know that.
Yeah. So now I'm down to like 340.
Wow.
But
dude,
that was like
props.
2 years. But yeah, when it was really bad there.
I didn't know that you were 460 pounds.
Yeah, or 450, yeah.
Whoa.
When I started working on it.
I mean, that's a huge improvement.
So, and then
was that when you were smoking a lot back in that sounded like a diss. I didn't mean it that way. But like that'll make things even worse.
So, I mean,
wow, dude.
And
when we lived together?
I think when it was at its worst.
Wow.
And I was just being a glutton.
That is scary though. I mean, that's when I was at my worst. It was the two of us would just like, hey, you want to get some pho? Yeah, we order and then like a huge bowl of, for those that don't know, because it sounds weird, it's Vietnamese soup. It's like Vietnamese ramen, pho, and we would just eat and hang out, and then it was after that I was like, I gotta do something about this. This is the heaviest I've ever been.
Yeah.
No, it's right when I was living with
in COVID,
yeah.
Dude, yeah.
We lived together in COVID, at the beginning at least.
Yeah. And then I moved out it was like in the middle.
It was well into that first year. Okay, so answer the question.
Yeah.
What's something we'd change instantaneously about ourselves? You would lose weight, and the thing that's stopping you is just motivation.
Yeah.
To do it. Yeah.
Because that's I know I can because I have.
Yeah.
I just, if I'm not motivated to do something, same thing with like smoking, same thing with drugs. If I don't want to do it, then I don't. So I just need to want to do it.
And the thing that helped you stop smoking was like when other people got involved, right? Mm-hmm. So it's really true when you're like, Matt, fat shame me.
We need another intervention.
I could get you we could get you one of like a little shock collar.
So that's it.
Every time we know that he's going out to eat.
I think what will do it for me is just getting like a scale.
Yeah.
And putting it on a calendar every day, like writing it down and seeing that number and being like, ugh, you disgusting. And then it'll just get,
Just put mirrors all over the house too. That's what, and then you're just every angle. You're like, oh no.
No, but only put the mirrors at terrible angles.
Yeah. They're all like this.
They're all
like, oh no.
Oh, it's like they're all the mirrors that like are in shoe stores.
Yeah.
Those are so weird. I would also have probably said weight. Like I would like to be just like specifically a lower body fat percentage in general, and so like keep my muscle and improve that. So what I'm saying is exercise, not losing weight like I did before, but actually exercising.
I think it was 430 pounds.
430?
Not 60, yeah.
I think the highest I was at when I had that similar moment to Levi was like 290 or 295 or something, and I was like, whoa, I didn't ever want to be 300 pounds in my life. Like, I need to fix that. And I got down to the day of my wedding, I was the lightest I've ever been as an adult, and I was 208. And I was like, oh, now I got to work to get to, I was trying to get to 2 or below, and I never got it. Because I sat at like 212, 215 for a long time. And then like 5-6 months into marriage is like, oh, I'm sitting around 225. That's fine. I'm okay with 225. Like, I still feel pretty good. And then it's like, oh, before you know it, another few months go by, I'm sitting around 235. Oh, well, 235 is okay. That's what it says on my driver's license. I'm all right. And now I'm like 245. I'm like, all right, well, I'd like to get that back down again. But because I basically split into the middle of where I was and where I got. It's like, well, I don't want to be there again.
Yeah. I when I went to GCU, I went from 135 graduating, and then I was 150 after one semester at GCU because I was only there for half the year.
Yeah.
And then I came back. And that
You
was
literally got the freshman 15.
in the first 6 months of being there, because I just had a food card, and the only places I wasn't able to go off campus unless I had a car because it was in the middle of the ghetto. So all I had was fast food joints on campus. But lots of Chick-fil-A, which was incredible. We had Chick-fil-A on campus, which was wild.
No, Levi would always tell us when he'd call us from college, he's like, dude, I am a chick magnet. And we're like, whoa, all right. And he was just eating Chick-fil-A.
Yeah. That's definitely it. But also they had a convenience store, and I would buy one of those
Jeez.
bags of donuts, the mini donuts. And I would just
Oh,
have
the powdered
that.
donuts?
Yeah, the powdered donuts. And I would just sit there every time we had D&D. I would just... And it was
Powdered
terrible.
Yeah. Oh,
I mean...
you didn't even enjoy it?
No, I enjoyed it a lot, but
okay,
it was
okay.
terrible for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I could instantaneously change one thing about myself, to not say the same thing as Jaret, I will say, man, I didn't think about this at all. Why did I start answering?
No, yeah. So when I instantly...
I
thought
wouldn't
about
sin
this-
anymore. Go ahead.
Oh, nice, nice. And what steps are you taking to,
Pretty much trying
trying to sin?
to not
Oh, okay.
sin anymore.
Trying to sit.
Yeah, I decided to take this weird approach. I'm going to sin as much as I can so that I hate it.
It's like, oh, you're smoking.
Oh,
cigarettes?
you're smoking a
Smoke this
cigarette?
whole pack.
That's true. You're like, I like them more.
Oh, you're gonna sin
I'm
once?
more addicted.
Do all of the sin.
Yeah, that's not what I... Go ahead. What were you going to say?
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, like, instantly my thought was just like, oh, weight loss.
Yeah.
And then I was like, maybe I should think about this more. And I think that, like, procrastinating and, like, finishing out a project, that's like where I really struggle. What?
No, nothing.
What did I say something weird?
No, you started to say finish, and you said, like, you basically said the finna, like, I'm finna stop procrastinating. And I was just like, trying not to laugh because it's not a thing that you would ever say.
Yeah. No.
I'm finna stop procrastinating. I had explained to Perry the other day. Somebody, I don't know, in a podcast or something we were listening to said that, and she's like, what finna? What does that mean? And it's like, I got to explain a whole lot to get this across. Well, so there's a certain culture that's on the internet, and you have to understand that, and then this other culture and these words. I actually don't know what words are combined. I think it's probably like a bad word, but it kind of just means gonna. Okay, I'm gonna do this.
But yeah, to be able to follow through and not just I'm gonna start this thing and then just get burned out and end it, and then get all of a sudden hyped up about another thing and then just lose it.
Oh yeah. So like getting really excited about one thing and going all into it. You mean, is that part
kind
of
of
it too, or?
Well, it's just like that's kind of part of it, but mostly just once I lose any amount of
like interest or
like just desire to need to finish this thing, it's just like, oh,
well, it's good to know that about yourself then.
yeah.
Like, because then hopefully when you see that, or if somebody says something to you about it, it can be less, feel less jarring. You know what I mean? Like if it's like you know it deep down, but you're not admitting it, but admitting it about yourself hopefully helps if someone's like, hey, are you losing interest in this and so not doing it? Instead of being like, I'm going to kill you. Yeah, that's a good thing to want change, right? Procrastination.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I struggle with that too. Like not being interested in something. It's like, so then I just don't want to do it, but then I know I have to do it, so I leave it till the very end. You know, like the whole interest. I think it can help to think about, even when something doesn't interest you, like really think through why you're doing it, and then find interest maybe in some of the why you're doing it rather than just what you're doing. That's helped me. So, you know, if there's some work I really don't want to do, I'm not interested, and I find myself procrastinating, I'll think about like, well, why do I have to do this? Who does it impact? Who does it affect? Who, if me not doing it, how will that negatively impact them? Then all of a sudden I'm very interested in the why. And so then it can help me do it. But even if like the what it is doesn't interest me literally at all. So you would instantaneously make yourself not a procrastinator at all?
Yeah. Dude, that'd be
What's
crazy.
stopping you from changing that about yourself? Procrastinating.
Dude, yeah, I've just been putting that
Well, it doesn't
off.
interest me at all, so.
Yeah, it doesn't interest me to change it, you know, in the moment.
Right. Well, that makes sense. I don't know. What I still didn't think about it. What would I change about myself? I guess nothing, you know.
You're just perfect. Wow.
No.
That's
I
crazy.
would probably change I have this ingrown toenail. It'd be nice to
That's wild.
They can do that at the doctor. They cauterize those.
Yeah, they tried.
Dude, I remember that. They did try.
They came back.
No, I was kidding. I wouldn't change that. It's not that big of a deal. No, so I had an ingrown toenail on my big toe. This is
Dude, the
weird thing
horror
on the podcast.
story was wild.
And they did try and do that thing where they clip it and cauterize it, and it just grew back. It's just tough cookie, that one. No, I would probably change how easy it is for me to get angry, or probably how easy it is for me to get obsessive. I can obsess on over things pretty easily, and just wanting to do it the right way, and that can be a good thing, but it can be a bad thing. Like I can really obsess about doing something, and this isn't me saying like when they say what's your greatest flaw in an interview, and you're like, oh, I'm too hard of a worker.
I care too much.
I care too much. No, what I
too
mean is
loyal.
like I can really obsess on like doing something the right way, but it can negatively impact my relationships too. Because then I can just like, well, this is the right way to do it, and I'm right, but that doesn't mean that's how it has to get done. No, I'm just kidding. But like, I don't know. Well, I'd actually rather change. Not second guessing, like not overthinking how this I would much rather change. Because of that, because then I realize like certain environments where I do that, then I'll be like, oh, well then there is a right way to do something though, and so we should try for that. But then I'll second guess. I'm like, oh, is this person going to be bothered, or are they just going to say that like, Jerry, you're being obsessive? I'd much rather change the second guessing everything, you know, like second guessing even my own motives when I'm pretty confident why I'm doing something, but being like, what if I'm fooling myself? What if there's this evil little demon in me that's like, you think that's why you're doing it? I'd much rather change that. That really bothers me. It is pretty destructive. What? To like every day of my life.
No, I just thought it was really funny that you changed your answer to a second answer of.
Oh, really?
You said,
No,
I
wasn't
like to stop upset. Actually, I'd like to stop
wait.
second guessing.
That's not second guessing though. That's not second guessing.
That's
I just-
incredible.
because I am really bad at so when Perry and I were dating, we talked about this a lot. It's like you're going through a lot of questions to get to know each other, right? And you're just like, hey, what's your favorite this? I'm like, oh no. I'm really bad at answering questions. I have to like think about them. So what happened there was me actually just realizing, oh, this obsess. I was gonna say, yeah, when I obsess, then I'm like, oh, but will this happen or this? And I realized, oh, it's the worst thing is what it leads to, which is the second guessing. I'd be fine being super type A and obsessing on projects if I was always confident.
Yeah.
But
No,
you know,
I want to change my answer
But
to
that's
be able
fair.
to talk better.
that's fair. To talk better?
Yeah.
To always get across like your point?
Do I not get my point across? a
No,
lot?
I wasn't a diss. I was asking, is that what you mean? Like to always know how
Well,
to, like,
no, to not have all the stupid,
the likes and ums and
the
stuff?
likes,
or-
the and like
Okay.
all of that terribleness that, you know, you guys have been wonderful in pointing that
We
out.
all do
and
it though. It's not just you. You and I do it almost as much as each other. You just do it a little bit more.
Yeah, I do it more.
You do, but it's not like I don't do it at all.
But yeah, it's whenever I think about it, it makes me
Don't think
very
about
upsetty spaghetti. No, but if I don't think about it, then I'll never change. So I'm trying,
I'm not going to change
but it's
my
not
answer.
working very well.
I'm fat. I want to not be fat.
I mean, yeah.
To wrap things up, let's close with this.
That's not what I meant by that.
What? What did you say?
He's over there like, yep.
Yeah, you should take
Sure are. Yeah.
No, I was meaning, yeah, me too, bro. Like, that was my first thing.
Shibs, what would you instantaneously change
Yeah,
about
what would you
yourself?
change?
And why haven't you?
I would grow sideburns.
Oh, why haven't you?
I'm not trying hard enough, I guess.
like mutton
Dude, you
chops?
should-
Like mutton chop sideburns?
Or just straight
Like
down.
Elvis.
Just more than the 3 hairs on each side I have. So
Have you tried? You know, like there's hair implants that they can do.
Wow.
You
Well,
ever
wait,
been to Turkey?
are you saying like you can't grow them? Or, okay. I didn't know if like you purposely shave them and you're like, yeah, I just don't want to spend the time where it's awkward looking, but no.
Do you want like a full facial hair, or do you just care about the sideburns?
I think I'm asking too much for full facial hair. But
He's like, I don't want to be greedy.
I can do that well enough.
Okay,
Sideburns
so what
not
are
there.
you doing to try and accomplish this?
Nothing. I'm not doing anything.
Rogaine,
I'm procrastinating.
Little rollers.
Procrastinating.
Little
Those
rollers.
roller things, yeah. I don't know.
I don't know if they work.
I have a little patch in my beard that grows in thinner. Well, I think when I get stressed, I think I pick at it. And I've always said it grows in thinner, but I literally think I thin it out by just,
That's funny.
picking at it.
Yeah.
But I've been like, maybe I should get one of those rollers.
So to wrap it up, let's answer. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I knew a guy that he had this massive bald spot right here,
Okay.
and he had that because every time that he would think, he would actually do Thinking Man, and would scratch.
Wow.
And he was so obsessive about scratching there that he had this bald spot. It was only on one side, wasn't on the other. It wasn't like widow's peaks or anything.
Huh.
It was just this massive, yeah, crazy.
Let's answer another question.
Yeah, let's go for
If you could instantaneously change something about the person on your left, what would it be? No, I'm just kidding.
it.
It's terrible. And why haven't you tried to change?
Do
it
I
yet?
get Shipley?
Yeah, but so we're not. Answering.
he went, yes, I'm so excited for this. And then I said that and he went,
I think how can we wrap this up with an integration into our theme, Hebrews 3:13, right? Exhort one another daily.
I will call Jaret little fatty Magoo, you know, every day until it changes because we must exhort each other.
I think it's important to have conversations like this where you bring up to your brothers, sisters, fellow believers of things that you struggle with and things that you want to change so that they can hold you accountable and help you do that. I mean, that's exactly what the verse is to exhort one another, encourage one another, motivate one another so that we don't become complacent and hardened to sin and whatever that may be.
Yeah, I agree. I think also when you think about it, it could remind us too, when you hear people say things that they'd like to change about themselves or maybe things that they are trying to change, that verse is telling us to encourage each other to change in a way that glorifies God.
Yeah.
And sometimes we want to change in ways that, like, maybe we are focused on something and it's like that doesn't actually bring glory to God. So I think also it can remind us too to help, like, to actually just encourage each other to change the things that would bring glory to God. So if like I was really fixated on wanting to change something about myself and it's I'm just doing it for vanity's sake, right? Like I really just like I want to lose weight and maybe I did and I'm really trying to beef up and like change things about myself and I'm getting very vain. It's like, well, maybe it would have been good for you guys to encourage me to lose weight, but now you need to encourage me to chill out, So I think what it made me think about, just thinking about the verse in this conversation, is helping to, because I think you have an outside perspective, like I can get really fixated on really wanting to do this one thing, and it is a good thing. Kind of like I use this example a lot, but when I was younger and I really wanted to get married, it's like, yeah, because that is something that can bring glory to God. Well, it wasn't bringing glory to God in the way I was pursuing it and focused on it. It's like I needed people around me to help remind me, like, no, what matters most is that you glorify God with your life, with whatever he gives you. Stop chasing this dream and therefore not glorifying God. So I think, we can have good things that we want and want to pursue, but then we need people around us to help hold us in check, to be like, are you glorifying God by pursuing even that thing that might be semi-objectively good? So that's what I would say. But then, yeah, we also need people to hold us. Well, like if we say, like, yeah, I'm going to do this thing that's good. I'm going to stop lying. I'm going to try and focus on not lying. It's like, yeah, I need people around me to help hold me accountable to that, right? So,
yeah, and you need to be able to. You need to create an atmosphere for the person that's trying to stop. What?
I'm listening. I'd like the words create an atmosphere.
Oh, okay. Creating an atmosphere around somebody that is trying to stop, let's say, lying, and exhorting them in truth and in love, so that when they do lie, they can be able to come up to you and be like, "Hey, I'm sorry, man. That was a lie. I didn't. I'm trying to stop, but I did say that." Yeah. And being able to have that kind of atmosphere comes through being able to exhort each other daily and having those repertoires that you can be just honest and open with people,
right?
In a safe manner. Like, I'm joking with Jaret about calling him Mr. Fatty Magoo. I'm not actually gonna.
I think it was Little Fatty McGee. Just kidding.
I did, but saying that kind of thing, I'm not, just dogging on him. And if he ever were to come up to me and be like, "Yo, dude, that was way too far out of field," like.
Yeah, I didn't appreciate when you said I looked like Jabba the Hutt.
Didn't you say that?
Yeah, I did.
Just checking.
But
someone out there is gonna be like, Levi said that.
Yeah, he said it before we were recording.
He's like, get in there, Jabba. We got to record the episode.
Yeah, because I think that's important in your exhorting each other is to have everything in love. Because if you're exhorting someone without having love behind it, then, what's the point? Going back to that other verse, you're just a resounding gong. It doesn't really mean anything. Mm-hmm. And having that relationship and building upon it so that the other person doesn't fall into, a spiral of being locked away or thinking that their efforts have been, in vain. Being able to tell somebody like, hey,
right.
It has made a difference. Like you telling me that it does look like I had done some work because I had tried, but then, I stopped. But to lose weight, it had been noticed is, it is big.
It's a big difference if you go to the beginning of season 3 of this show and then now.
Yeah, so just in all of that, love, truth, exhort daily.
Exhortation.
Yeah.
Love, truth, exhortation. Do what you like, what you do.
Do what you like, what you do. Indeed.
I think you're supposed to read it twice. Do what you like what you do.
Oh, do what you like. Do what to do.
Yeah, what do you do? Do you like?
Do what you want to do.
Like.
Comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching this episode of Under the Influence. It was a bit of a long one. I might cut some of that out. That's all right. Go check us out at discord.gg/ChristianInfluence. Leave us a comment. What would you change about yourself, and why haven't you done it yet?
Yeah, why haven't you?
Yeah, what would
and
you
also,
change about us?
remember, that was a question that was...
don't do that.
What would you change about us instantaneously? And
I know what Kanan would say.
He's like, I would change like everything. No, also remember that podcast topic was a question, someone asked us. You can ask us any kind of question you want. Maybe it's a question about the Bible, and we'll do our best to answer it. Or, we've done our best to give advice. And then apparently, we'll answer questions about how we should change. You can ask us stuff like that too. Go to the Discord, discord.gg/ChristianInfluence. Get involved there. And then if you want another podcast to listen to, go check out Of Lore and Legend. It's our D&D actual play. We love you very much.
Roll the outro.
That's a good one.